Whose idea was it to build the tabernacle? God's idea. Yeah. And can anyone remember why God wanted the tabernacle to be built? People could be close to him. It was a place where God could live with his people. And it was to show how they can get to God as well. Well, over the last weeks, we've been looking at that part of the tabernacle, the big tent at the back. And if you looked at it from above, it would look like that. And it's the yellow part that we've been thinking about. And in that yellow part, there was, what was that called? The Ark of the Covenant. And in the Ark of the Covenant, what was in there? And the manna. That's right, Aaron's staff that budded, that's right. So you've remembered all that. Well, this one's going to be hard because there's three things in this other part that we're going to be looking at. This was called the holy place. And only the priest could go into the holy place. In there was a lampstand. There was a table with bread on it. And there was an altar with incense on it. Three different things. You see, there was the lampstand. It was made out of pure gold. And it was to be made by hammering a piece of gold until it came into this shape. And do you know what it was for? I'll give you a clue. It gives light. Yeah, might sound soft, but that's what the lampstand was for. It was the only light that was in that place, and it showed everything which was there. But it was there for something else, because when they made it like an almond tree with different branches on it. And when you looked at it, you could see some little buds beginning to grow. And at the top where the lamps were, there was like blossom growing from the almond tree. And you see, that was to show that, God brings life as well. So it was light and life that this would show to people. Why did God put that there? Well, it was because he wanted to tell them something about Jesus Christ. He wanted them to know what Jesus Christ would be like. You see, he is pure and holy and precious, just like that pure gold. But Jesus also once said to somebody, I am the light of the world. If you want to know how to get to God, if you want to know what you need to be doing in your life, Jesus is the only one who can show you the right way. And he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. If you want to be born again, if you want to have new life with Christ, it's only through him. And that candlestick was there to remind us of those things. And then there was a table, and it had bread on it. Again, that was overlaid with pure gold. 12 loaves. Anybody remember where the number 12 comes in the Bible? Feeding of the 5,000? Well, it was the 12 disciples who gave the bread out. So it was in that story. But you see, the 12 loaves reminds us of 12 disciples. And in the Old Testament, 12 tribes. And on that table, there's also some wine in a jug at the back. Why did God put that there? Well, it was to remind us again about somebody. Anybody like to guess who it might be? Jesus. Yeah, It reminds us again of Jesus, because again, he is pure and holy and precious. It reminds us about his people, 12 disciples, 12 tribes of Israel, God's people. And it reminds us there that God's people are held secure on top of that table because there was a rim around the edge that it couldn't slide off. God keeps his people safe and secure. And of course, when we think about bread and wine, we often think about Jesus, because Jesus said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And he took the bread and he broke it. His body was broken on the cross. His blood was shed for his people. It's a picture of Jesus. And then the last one, which was in that room, was the altar of incense. Guess what it was overlaid in? Gold. That's right. But there was something that went inside there first, and that was coal. But it wasn't just any ordinary coal. This coal came from an altar of sacrifice, which was outside of that tent in the big courtyard. We'd be thinking about that another week. And they used to take the coal and they used to put it in there. So after the sacrifice had made, the coal went into there. And then on top went a bowl of incense. And when the incense warmed up, it gave off a lovely smell. And that smell could be smelt right throughout the place. I wonder what that reminds us of. Any guesses? Jesus. It is. Because again, Jesus is pure, precious, isn't he? And that reminds us again of who it is that we come to. And it's only because Jesus sacrificed himself on the cross that we can actually, let's say, warm up God's prayers, our prayers when we pray to God. It's not because we're very good at praying. It's because God sees what Christ did on the cross, and God accepts our prayers for us. So they're the three things in it. If you want to look later at the front, at the bottom, you can see that there is a little model, and you can have a look at them as well. So there they were, the candlestick, the table, and the altar. And last week, of course, we done the other part of the temple where we saw the altar there. Next, well, maybe not next week, the week after, we're going to be looking at what happened in the outer court. And we're going to be thinking about all those things which were there and about the priests. Something for the adults, though, because they've all been listening as well. On our website, we have a great series on the tabernacle. If you go under sermons and look at the bottom, you'll see the tabernacle. Why not go and listen and just try and find out a little bit more? Because what we've told the children is not much. There's a lot more you can learn about the tabernacle and what it's there for.